Welcome back to another season of Dirt to DayDega. We are here for Season 2. This is a series where we start from dirt mini stocks and work our way up through the ladder that iRacing can provide, as we pay homage to the wonderful game that is Dirt to Daytona, if you can tell by the copyrighted music in the background. This time around we have a little bit of a twist as we progress through dirt mini stocks. Then we get our choice of late models, modifieds, or the SRX series. Then we go to the trenches, that is the Arkham Menard series, or trucks, depending on which combo looks the least painful. And then we get a breath of fresh air with B Open, or the Xfinity series, O'Reilly series, Busch series, Grand National series, whatever you want to call it. Then we end with Gen 4 Cup because we want to stay as realistic to the original game as possible, and that's when they had the wonderful Gen 4 cars as the top series to go to, so that's what we're going to do here, and also because the next gen car sucks. And then we get to the DayDega finale with Draft Masters. Depending if they're at Daytona, we'll go to Daytona. If it's at Talladega, we'll go to Talladega. So we get to bookend with a little bit of chaos sprinkled in the middle, and hopefully keep up in the other series. This time I got some friends joining me. You'll see some returning characters. Similar to when you're racing, you'd see some Matthew Cato, Ted Fingers, some classics in the Dirt to Daytona series. And then I'm also competing directly with my rival, my good buddy Sean. The twist this time around, our cars are completely blank starting out, and each time one of us finishes better than the other, we get a sponsorship offer from one of the iRacing provided sponsors to slap in our car in the next series. Of course, if we do absolutely dreadful, there is a risk that we do lose our sponsor, and the goal is to have as many sponsors carrying into the Draft Masters finale as possible. So I hope you enjoy it. It's going to be a good one, and see you in the first stage. We are joined by quite a few familiar faces here in the first stage of Dirt to DayDega. We are doing 20 laps here at Limaland, or Limaland, however you pronounce it. And we are the 7 car heading into this 10 car borderline demolition derby, as I'm expecting here today. We did fairly well in Season 1 in the dirt stage, so I'm hoping to carry on the success, but it is not going to be easy, as we see Sean is putting down some good lap times. We got Jeff in here, it's always good, Bryce, and Lee. As you can see some of the cars passing by in practice, we got a lot of blank white cars, which will come into play a little bit later on. But yeah, heading into this race, pretty confident, but with the added level of competition, anything can truly happen here on dirt. Pulling out of the pits here for our qualifying at the dirt mini stock. You can see my dirt mini stock is void of any sponsorship this time around. Lowe's decided that I wasn't good enough in the last series, so they jumped ship as we try to build up some speed here in the outlap and the first lap. Just going to take the same strategy, try to get as low as humanly possible and try to carry as much speed through each corner. As we jump in here to the onboard, really trying to carry as much speed. The kind of felt bogged down a little bit as we tapped the wall, ruining our qualifying lap in the first stage. Not a good sign. As we come to the checkered flag, we're going to have to take whatever we put down on the first lap, and it was not exactly a heater per se, as we have to settle for a P6. As we are joining us on the pace lap for the first stage here at Limaland, you can see just the sheer amount of white cars, blank unsponsored cars in the dirt mini stocks. That's how it should be. The 6 car is unrelated to our group, the 7 car is yours truly, the 8 car is Sean, the 9 car is just a weapon, and the 10 car is Lee, the 3 car is Bryce, and then Jeff is in the beautiful number 2 car. Really good scheme here at the dirt mini stocks. We take the green flag as the weapon is right below me. I gotta catch Sean as my main mission, my main goal. As I get around the 9 car, he was all over the place in practice. As we jump on board, you can see Jeff is stuck there on that low line. I liked the low line last week, didn't quite like how rough it could get if you don't get it perfectly. The slide angle, I don't know what you call it, I'm not a dirt guy. But I tried to sit it 3 wide on Sean. The bows are out when we were trying to get a sponsorship. I need to support my race team, so we're doing a little dirt track racing as he gives me the spot, fearing that I'll send him into the catch fence. And now my sights are set on trying to get Jeff. We know he's stuck on that bottom line. I think eventually I'll be able to get around him, even if the middle to top isn't my fastest line. My goal is to try to keep him down there, hopefully that he gets stuck off the exit, which he does, moving me up to P5. As we see, Sean is struggling to try to get around the weapon back there. He's got a long road ahead trying to get past Jeff and then catching up to me for that first sponsorship. We got Bryce now trying to get around the weapon as Sean is able to clear him, hopefully coming out of this corner. Yep, we got a skill issue, and the skill issue leads to Bryce getting held up, and now it's Lee's turn to get held up by the 9 car as Lee is looking on the inside here. Pretty calm first through all the way through 7th as Lee decides he's had enough. The 9 car turns across his nose, predictably so, and Lee's got a lot of work to do to try and catch back up to the field. As we have started to strung out here, we hop into the onboard just to see what in the world I was doing behind the wheel. Answer is as much as I can do. I still forgot the bind to clear off the visor, but it is okay, as we're just trying to make lap time. Jeff was hot on our tail the entire time, making it very stressful, but a very fun race. I felt any mistake was immediately going to be punished by a slider from 2 tracks away, as I would do the exact same thing as we are fighting for sponsorship. And Jeff, I guess, he already has sponsorship on his car, so he was just trying to keep us from having nice things, which is the goal. For the longest time, I thought Sean was this white car, blink white car up ahead, because I'm used to him having a higher I rating than me, but it turns out in dirt, I get the higher car number, as that 6 car up ahead was completely unrelated once again to our group, so it was pretty funny to have just another random blank white car to add to the chaos. It's picking up more dirt, picking up more gap to the car in front of me, so it's beginning to dawn on me that we are not going to be catching that front group. So we're just trying to play defense. As you can see, Jeff is just permanently behind me, but luckily he gets bogged down in this corner just enough to get a little bit of separation to make me feel a little bit comfortable. And I'm glad I got that separation, because if you didn't catch it, up ahead is the 9 car, and at this point in the 9 car's head, again, the brain, we're not too big, as I justifiably am gonna be a little bit mean to him, just because you'll see what he gets up to. As of right now, he is a heat-seeking missile. From his perspective, he has been turned by a white car. The problem is there are 5 white cars on this track, all of them blank. So he is going slow and trying to figure out which white car is the one that wronged him. So Sean is, we're all aware, we got the in-car radios going, so we know he is out for blood, so I am terrified to make this pass, and that is getting Jeff right up behind me once again. So I decide at some point I just have to send it and try to get a big run so he can't mess with me, but he seems to realize that I'm not the one who turned him, as me and Jeff make it by, and then we see Sean making it by him, and he decides, you know what, Sean, I hope you didn't have fun running this race, because he just takes him out like a heat-seeking missile. So Sean gets taken out as we take the white flag here. Sean wasn't really going to catch up, but that's still never fun to be taken out by just a heat-seeking missile. As we take the checkered flag here, we were running P5 all race, but it turns out the 6 car had a black flag that never got cleared, or he never did a slowdown. So we end up getting P4 as Lee and Bryce are beating and banging as we jump into the wrecks and incidents, as we get a little bit more of the picture on how this happened. So Lee leaving plenty of room. The 9 car just doesn't imagine there's another car possibly below him, and turns himself. A normal racer would be like, you know what, I turned myself, but not the number 9 car. He takes revenge into his own hands. The only problem is he takes out the wrong white car, and Sean gets taken out for absolutely no reason, as Lee gets away, I guess, with murder. Definitely, that's a dirt mini stock experience right there. Like I said, we come away P4 somehow. 6 car got a blast slowdown that never got served, so Jeff and I move up into the top 5. Sean should have been right there in 6th place, but instead, fate had other plans for him, unfortunately. We got Bryce finishing P7, Lee finishing P8. I don't know how the 9 car is still on the service, and then Sean finishing P10. So I get the first sponsorship, and I hope to make good use of it in the next stage. Welcome to the second stage. This time, instead of the late models, you will find us driving some SK Modifieds here at Stafford Motor Speedway. Heading into this one, fairly optimistic. We are the 3 car in this field. Sean is the 6 car. We both enjoying a little bit of speed in qualifying, not quite to what we're seeing in practice, but enough to hang in there. So we're hoping to try to conquer my demons with Stafford Motor Speedway. Historically, every time I run this track, I have been awful and a disgrace to the asphalt, so hopefully we don't make a fool out of ourselves and try to finish this race, not only in one piece, as we've seen a couple weapons in practice, trying to figure out how this car works, but also try to at least finish near our car number, but we'll see how it goes. I'll see you in post. Alright, we got the Grillos Pickles sponsored SK Modified number 3 pulling out of pit road. Blessed to have a sponsorship on board after they've seen our prowess in the dirt mini stocks, giving us a shot in the SK Modified series. As we are getting up to speed, hopping in the cockpit, already ruined my first lap, so I know it's not going to be timed. But it doesn't really matter. There's more practice for me. Again, Sean and I bought the car about 30 minutes before this race fired off, so still trying to figure out how it works. And boy, is it a treacherous learning process as we try to get a good setup here in the turn 1 and 2. It definitely bowed way too wide, using an apron at Stafford. Not recommended for the highest speed, at least that I've found in practice. Started to know it's a bit of a wash. And then trying to make up and overcompensate and just get wrecking loose out of 4. So overall, just a tragic qualifying attempt for my first race on board the Grillos Pickles racing team, as we put this thing P11 as the 3 car. We are dead last of those that are qualified, so we got some work cut out for us if we want any kind of respectable finish here in the 40-lap race at Stafford Motor Speedway. Alright, we got the pace car turned down onto the access lane. The cue for everybody to get rocking and rolling. We see Sean in the 6 car ahead of me. That's going to be my main target this race, qualified all the way back here. As we take the green flag going into turn 1 and 2. So far at this point, I'm not feeling too terrible. Didn't already get gapped by the field, so we're hanging around. But as these laps start to unfold, you can see the 12 car already looking on my inside. He was the fastest in practice. He just chose not to qualify, so I know better than to try and hold him up. So I'm gonna give him some space here out of the corner. So he pulls up side by side. Again, these guys all run this car in series pretty regularly. Pretty high strength of field too. I know I'm the 3 car, but all of us were around the same I rating, and their I rating came from this series, where mine does not, so in the SK Modifieds, I put myself around 800, as I'm already losing the pack here. It's not looking good. And Sean's already pulling away from me too, and I see now we got the 12 car, I guess that was the 13 car going by, I don't know. All the cars went by me at this point, so we got the 12 car, trying to take a look at it, and decides, you know what, 3 car going way too slow. He is very respectful though back here. At this point, my only hope is to tire save, kind of like in the 87s, where the tire save goes slow and then you end up going faster by default towards the end of the race. So I let him free to go try to get some spots, and I am already back, dropping 2 spots to P13 in these opening laps here. So not the start we wanted, and already kind of sliding the rear, so we got some trouble. We're jumping ahead to lap 15 as we get our first action. We get a free spot, car gets turned, and look who's right ahead of us. This was the break that I needed as we jumped into 12th place. Sean up in 11th place. Those 2 fast cars, the 13 and the 12, already got by. So now we are basically just racing each other. There's no hope for any of us to catch anybody else. But this is the break we needed. Try to put the test to the theory of our taking care of the tires a little bit, maybe paying off for us. As you can tell, both of us are driving the absolute piss out of this car, and it's still slower than everybody else. As we're both breaking loose sideways, getting everything we can out of this machine. as it is proven to no use. I already noticed Sean's pulling back away a little bit, and I am still driving this car on the edge of what I feel like's on the edge, but apparently I'm under-driving it, I guess. I don't know. You'd think in 40 laps I'd be able to figure this combo out, but you'd be absolutely dead wrong, as I continue to slip further and further back and don't have any tire saving to show for it. Don't even know that's a thing in this car, as we're just kind of depressingly running in 12th here. We're going to get to the final lap. I dropped back about 5 seconds, about to get lapped, and we're just trying to wheel this thing home. Feel really bad for the sponsor, Grillo's Pickles. They definitely expected more out of us this race, but at least we get, I guess, learning experience, even though I didn't really learn anything either. I just learned how to go slow 3 different ways. For every line I tried, just was slower and slower, so yeah, that was an experience. We'll go see a little bit of wrecks and incidents. We got the first one here, the 13 car. Just not giving any space, and then says 12, eat some fence while you're at it. And we got the 11 sliding it and just keeping it up high. Very respectful racing all around, because there wasn't too many incidents. The 9 car absolutely bends it into the wall, but does not still able to beat us, so that was fun. Yeah, we finish we finished P12 as the 3 car after qualifying 11th. The only cars we beat were cars that didn't really finish the race. So, yeah, confidence not too high. Do want to shout out Jeff, who painted an incredible modified car and wasn't able to run it. He ran so many practice laps with us, but wasn't missing much. Welcome back to the next step in the Dirt to DayDega. We are rocking with the trucks today. We're doing some C-Open action here at Michigan International Speedway. We are the 11 truck as we head into this 26 truck field. Got a lot of competitors out here today looking for a little bit of Michigan glory. We'll be running a little hand-me-down setup that I've gotten through the grapevine. Again, I'm terrible at setups, so anyone that wants to give me some hand-me-downs, they're much appreciated. I don't care if they're fast, slow, whatever. I don't think setups matter. It's all about the driver driving them, for better or worse. So we will see what that gets us today. Sean is in the 12 truck. He has a brand new sponsorship after rightfully earning the ASCAP modified title, so be on the lookout for his new sponsorship today. Looking to make them proud, as we'll see. Grillo's not thrilled about last race, so we have a lot of pressure heading into Michigan. It's a track that we learned a lot about last week, especially in the Gen 4. Found the speed there, but do not have the speed, at least confidence-wise, after our ARCA race. At Michigan, it's going to be pretty similar with not a lot of lifting on the throttle. I really struggle with that, so even if we do terrible, might be a good learning experience for myself. I'll see you in qualifying. Pulling out of pit road at Michigan International Speedway, we got the Grillo's Pickles number 11 Ford F-150. After last week's performance, as you can see, Grillo's has toned down their sponsorship, reduced their logo size just a bit, trying to hide their logo on the bed of the truck, or it's not that visible. Honestly, I don't blame them after last week. They are not happy, and I'm honestly not happy either. So we're looking for a little bit of a redemption run here at Michigan. Like I mentioned in the intro, not used to the I'm used to the track with the Gen 4. Found some speed there in the 87s, but still not really sure how to generate speed with the trucks in ARCA. As we cut to the onboard here, we got the engine roaring as we're heading into turn 1 and 2. For what I noticed, at least for the non-draft speed, going down to this first seam seemed to work the best, given the setup that we got. So that's what I decided to roll with in turns 1 and 2. Going down the very, very long backstretch here as we go into turn 3 and 4. Same thing, goal is to get to that first seam, and I do not lift off the throttle at any point during this qualifying lap, so it kind of feels like a modified super speedway qualifying attempt, as our water temp starts to get a little bit high. I guess with the setup, crew chief put as much tape as you can humanly put on this truck. Trying the same thing, not lifting, but we did below the seams. That causes us to get loose, sliding up the track, and I know this lap is done. On my last lap on driving this, I saw a dip into the red and knew there was no chance of getting it back into the green. As we see more red on our dashboard, our truck is overheating. Probably going to blow the engine here soon if I'm not too careful. Try one last attempt to make it stick in turn 3 and 4, and again, no luck. So we're going to be taking the first lap time as we cross in P6. Out of 26 trucks, I'll take a P6 qualifying, although everybody's separated by marginal times. So it doesn't really tell us too much about how we're going to do today, but at least we get to start up front and then slide back, as opposed to just starting in the back and then staying in the back. We are rolling to the start here for lap 1 of 60. We can see Sean in the 12 car. Carolina Carports have decided to jump on board Sean's journey from dirt to DayDega. Taking the green flag, entering the restart zone. Nothing's changed. I still have a terrible start. Luckily, the 20 was able to give us a little bit of a bump draft so we don't fall too far behind. At this point, I'm expecting it to be very similar to the ARCA race, where you just kind of have to scrap and keep up with everybody. I don't think tires are too much of an issue, so I really didn't care about burning them off, as you kind of got to if you want to stay up here in track position. As the number 8 shows a little bit of aggression early, jumping right in front of the 20 car, in a perfect gap for one single truck, and he took it. Exiting 3 and 4, 3 wide, that one car is making his move to the front. That is what I was focused on trying to do as the 13 gets turned, bringing out our first caution of the race. As we are going to get re-racked here, I am in P5, heading to the green flag on lap 5. As again, another terrible restart, and end up blocking the 2 car behind me. Sean in the 12 still staying with me in that Carolina Carports Chevrolet. As we see what the 1 car was doing, making some quick work up to the front. So I decided to take the bottom lane on this one, as I was in the top lane on the first stretch. See side by side, trying to get back up to the first car on the inside over here in the 23 and 4. See almost 4 wide up in front of me as I'm washing up the track. I just did not have any kind of run. It felt like no matter where I was, I really struggled getting any kind of exit speed. And I started to feel a little bit self-conscious about it. Didn't have a lot of confidence. As we hop on board to kind of show you what I'm talking about. Felt like I wasn't driving in too hard. Should have been able to get some good exit speeds. You can see I'm just getting destroyed by that 21 in that 5 car. Just making me look like I lost a cylinder out here. And I'm trying to get that run on the backstretch. Got a lot of cars behind me. So I got a pretty good solid line. But you can see I just can't make it rocket and stick like that. It just made it seem like I was driving a different truck than they were. Made some of it back up here on the straightaway, but yeah, I was missing something, just like in that last race. So now I have to go to scientific method mode to try and figure out what I am doing wrong. As you can see, something's going wrong up there, and then there's not quite a gap for my truck to dip below, so I have to just accept losing about 4 more positions. Before you know it, Sean and I in the middle there, 3 wide. We've fallen quite a bit since the restart, and nothing feels like it's going right now. As a 10 truck starts to show that he wants to dip below me. Again, just kind of playing some defense, getting terrible entries, terrible runs. Not a lot going right here for the Grillos Pickles Ford F-150. As we start ticking down the laps. Surprised at some green flag racing, especially after that quick first caution at the front. So now I'm starting to think maybe tires might become a factor in this. So that's what I start to shift into as I'm trying to find some kind of speed here. Trying to figure out maybe I can just toss it in there, maybe I can't just toss it in there. So I try tossing it in there in 3 and 4, try and catch back up. But I immediately start to plow and get a little bit tight. And before I know it, I got another truck on my bumper. And that means can't think about playing offense, got to play a little bit of defense. We jump ahead here to lap 9. I'm in P14, and now I'm starting to see what they were doing early in that race on that low line. But we're 3 wide, and 18 and Sean are not committing to my line just yet, but now they do. I'm able to get that run and try and clear them, but I go up a little bit too early. That 18 had such a big run, so he gets the inside line, which means he gets the slider. Coming out of 2 here, as you can see, just easily clears me, and from what I thought was gaining 2 spots, I've now lost 1. Sean luckily sticks with me on this low side, as I know the 18 is going to tip back down, so hopefully we can get around the 23, get our first pass of the race, all the way in lap 10. But I can't quite get the job done, and now I don't get a run out of 3 and 4. I just could not figure out a way to get both corner speed and exit speed, and when I tried for exit speed, I got neither. So I'm still at the drawing board, but figured out that you can kind of throw it in there a little bit, at least to keep even in the middle of the corner on the exit, as long as you had somebody behind you. So that's what I'm trying to take advantage of, as the 3 gets tossed down below the white line on the back stretch. So continue trying to make something work. Now Sean has decided he's had enough of my slow ass in front of him. He tries to make a move, but there's a truck up top, forcing us 4 wide, ping-ponging, and losing more spots. So that's 3 more spots I lose for seemingly something that's not really in my control, but I guess it is. I mean, especially in hindsight, boy, was that in my control. I shouldn't be this slow to begin with, so I gotta accept my fate. As we jump ahead to lap 17. Cockpit view. I am P22 at the moment, and as you can see, Sean is 4 trucks ahead of me at the end of that pack in front, and I'm starting to recognize we're starting to slip a little bit. So this little mini pack that I'm in, we got to get organized and get going. So that's what I try to focus on. As you can see, I'm not going to try to make a move on the 16 truck in front of me. I'm just trying to let him know, like, hey, I'm trying to get organized, get in one single file, and try to catch back up to this group up ahead. Because as of right now, even if I find out how to go fast, my maximum finishing position in this small group is P19. Where if we join to the group ahead, that kind of raises our cap to maybe knocking on the door to a top 10. But as you can see, we're doing a good job about getting some clean air in the corner and going back to single file. So we do that for a few laps, and we're starting to knock on the door, getting back into this drive. We're making some quick work, but then I see in my rearview mirror, I see our first crab trying to get out of the buckets. The 10 truck has had enough of quote-unquote working together and decides to kind of ruin the momentum we have going as he starts to look low on the 6 truck, which removes 1 truck from our single file line. And now I'm trying to get some clean air, as we were doing earlier, but the 7 truck does not check up this time. He's like, I guess, he doesn't want to catch the group in front, and he starts to make a move, and we start to kind of fall apart here. Just as we were making some good headway to try and catch up to the front pack, or the middle pack, a large peloton, I guess is what we'll call it. We just can't have nice things this race. Now we're in a dogfight for 19th. And this is where I start to get a little bit frustrated, because just started to figure out a little bit of speed here. Starting to work together with the 2 trucks in front. And now the 6 truck says, you know what, I want to start ruining things now, and makes the pass on us. So yeah, next thing you know, we're 2 by 2, and we have absolutely no chance at catching the group ahead of us. And now it's just depression. This is where, in the moment, I thought this was going to be a long rest of the race, because we still have 40 laps. We could have easily caught back up, but nope. Just fighting for no reason. I'm still trying to give my best effort. I'm bump drafting. I'm pushing the 26 truck, trying to let others know, hey, we need to catch back up. But no, now the 10 truck is diving below us, and just side by side drafted each other. That's why I use the analogy crabs in a bucket, because it's just awful. So we're jumping ahead here to green flag pit stops, lap 37. I have my voice chat off. I don't want to listen to anybody this race. and didn't know when they were pitting, but see some trucks spinning, and indecisiveness, I was like, oh, we should probably pit with that giant pack, and then I could not slow my truck down in time, and now I just get, I get no benefit. I don't get to at least stay out and maybe make up a little bit of time on fresher tires. Now I just lose 5 seconds for no reason. So things are going from bad to worse as just issues that are out of my control. Now these are issues definitely in my control. I should not be making that kind of mistake when the margins are so thin at a track car combo like this. So now I get my pit stop a shame as Sean up there in the black truck starts dipping down a pit road. Figured it. At least we can work with him, and he's not having a tough time. He's having a tough time with us. Now that 16 truck also joined us in the tough time. Messes up his entry to pit road, but I see there's some trucks on pit road, so I see there's a chance to maybe get back into the draft. So I'm telling my crew chief 2 tires. Try to at least get within the draft, even if I'm not that fast. So pulling into my pit stop here. Still got a large group on pit road that I could potentially come out with. And so I flip over. Crew chief tells me my left tires are awful. And so we decides to hold my truck. We drop the jack, and then we're just wasting time as now we're putting on left side. So just a terrible pit stop on my pit crew. Terrible pit entry by myself the lap before, and just overall an absolute shit show for the 11 truck in this race. And now our fate is sealed. There's no mulligans, there's no second chances. The only thing we need is a caution, and we need a caution badly. We come out of the pits about 5 to 8 seconds from any other truck on this racetrack, and we're in an island all the way back in P22. Fast forward into the last lap, we did not get our caution. We didn't deserve it anyway. We are running where we should be. And on lap 60, every other truck has finished this race. I'm the last truck on the lead lap, and rightfully so. I couldn't figure out the speed here, and I couldn't figure out how to get onto pit road, and couldn't figure out what I wanted on pit road. So overall, just an awful time. And come out of turn 3 and 4, hopefully for the last time ever for this kind of combo, until I guess I get some more practice, but who knows. We cross the line in P22, and I immediately get a call from the CEO of Grillo's Pickles. He is not too happy, and I don't blame him. Moving on to the wrecks and incidents. You see the 20 car come down a little bit too much and goes for a little bit of a slide but catches it. See the 18 truck coming out, exiting 3 wide. 17 truck gets a little bit loose on exit, but nothing major happens, no major contacts. And then we cut to the 25 truck, catching a little bit of wall on exit of turn 3 and 4. Going back to the 18. As he looks to shoot the gap, but the 13 says, hey, I'm here, you can't do that. And then we saw the 16 truck out of tough pit entry. I wish this happened to me, just put me out of my misery. I should have followed him, but our suffering still continued, and it looks like into the checkered flag, a little bit of blocking going on between the 15 and the 5, and the 1 truck walks away with the victory. Like I said, we finished P22 after qualifying 6th. Sean didn't have a great day either over voice comms. Over the team radio. He was also frustrated with his group because his group wouldn't organize to catch the front group, and my group in the back wouldn't organize to catch his group, and it was just overall a tough time. Especially on a long green, when you lose the draft on a long green, it is a brutal experience. But I made mine worse by screwing up on pit road twice. So we finished P22. Sean finishes P17, so he'll get another sponsorship heading into the next race. And Grillo's, I don't think we'll be hopping on for the next race. They are not thrilled with how I did repping their company twice. So yeah, see you in the next part. Welcome back to the next step in the Dirt to DayDega. We're racing the O'Reilly car in B Open here at Nashville Fairgrounds for 130 laps. We got a couple friends joining us. Myself, I'm the 3-car qualifying in P8. Sean is in the 4-car qualifying P6. We got Liam in the 10-car qualifying P4. And Trip putting down a good lap, qualifying in P4 as a 6-car. We got Nico in the 15-car, messed up his qualifying lap, but he's got really good speed, qualifying P13. And the setup today, a little bit of a hand-me-down. Again, I don't want to pay money for setups, and I don't know how to make them myself, so any setups I appreciate being sent to me. And we are recording this in post-qualifying, so again, spoilers, but I forgot to record pre-qualifying. Very new to Nashville Fairgrounds, and pretty nervous for this race. Got a lot of fast cars, and I'm the 3-car, so a lot of pressure here. And we'll try to figure out the track as we go along, but got enough to get a solid hot lap time, but for the long run, I don't know what awaits. Speaking of that hot lap, here is me rolling off a pit road as we are going for our qualifying run. Spoiler, already qualified 8th as you saw in the intro, but this is how it came to be. Almost give myself a black flag. Exiting pit road here, very narrow, very odd, bumpy, unique track. As much as I struggle, as you'll see I struggle here today, I still really enjoy racing this track. I've raced it before, so I am aware, as we're about to see, there is a bump at the bottom of the exits in lane 1 here in turns 1 and 2 that, especially with this car bottoming out, I really struggled with. My natural instinct was to do kind of like a cut down, run it like Bristol, but out of 1 and 2, that became a big issue. So I basically spent most of this race trying to figure out how in the world I'm going to get speed without cutting down the track. As we get a really good 1 and 2 there, but I hit up the right rear too much, and that leads to me spinning it on my second Q lap. So we took that 19 flat into qualifying, getting us P8 as the 3-car heading into this 130 lap event. Hoping that it goes long green, and I guess we'll have to find out if I can survive a long run and if I can find any speed here. As the pace car starts to pull off for the initial restarts, you can see we got Trip in the white number 6 car, we got Liam in the blue number 10 car. And myself finally getting a good start in the number 3 car. Grillo's did end up dropping their sponsorship after the last couple races. Sean is ahead in the navy blue number 4 car. Carolina Carports decided to take this week off. They also didn't like what they saw from Sean last week, and it gets even worse for Sean as he has nowhere to go into turn 4 as there is a massive pileup to start out this race. That unfortunately does take Sean out of the race. Drops me to P15 and gives Nico damage that he has to deal with for the rest of the race. So not a great start for everybody. Trip and Liam survived, but I got to battle back here from P15. Restarting here on lap 5, got a long way to go. Still haven't even figured out the track yet, so that is interesting. As we see some aggressive maneuvers throughout the field, I'm testing out this top line to see if I can get anything going. As we move over here to the onboard, I am able to get a run off the top against some drivers that a little bit, they're in some slower equipment, I guess is what we'll say. But when there's another driver in the top lane, I got to low up quite a bit. So I'm just patiently trying to make my way through this kind of mid-pack. I'll keep my head on a swivel as I see a car up in the wall, but then we get sent ourselves, and we are the second caution of this race, as I'll make another pit stop to repair some damage. But yeah, I saw a car up in the wall, checked up for it, and get driven through. So that's, again, not a hot start for Sean or I. Luckily, I'm still in the race. I'm actually gained a spot through all that. I am in P14 as we restart here on lap 12. Nico able to get a little bit of damage there fixed in the 15 car. He still has well over, I think, 2 minutes at this point still to go. Trip and Liam are still having a fantastic race up there in the front. As you can see, Liam just at the corner of the screen picking off another car. As we're trying to make our way back to the front, we are now in P11 as we pass the 14 car on the top. As we are behind the number 18 car, you can see still trying to, I haven't ran the same line twice, and I get to experience a little bit of the bumps there. Luckily, I'm able to get a good run still, but not doing anything with it. As I see the 11 car start to get a little bit sideways in front, start to get loose off exit, so I'm cautiously getting on the inside of the 8 car, but I still didn't realize we got the bumps coming out of turn 2. So luckily the 18 backs off and lets us get the spot. As we get another caution from somebody behind us, well off the pace. So we're restarting in P10 here on lap 19. Still nobody's taken tires yet, although I haven't really used them at all. The 19 car, who sent me into a spin earlier in the race, is restarting behind me, so I am trying to push it, trying to get away from him, clear the 7 car, and then I can kind of breathe a little bit easier. I check up into turn 3 and 4 as the top line seems to be a little bit stacked up with some of the cars that are in it. Then we get some side-by-side action up ahead of us, and we kind of ease off the gas a little bit as we wait for them to figure it out. Jumping on board here, you can see they're still battling up ahead. We're not in any hurry, trying to take care of the tires as I could. I remember I wore the right fronts over at Nashville Super Speedway, so trying to take it a little bit easier. Actually, I wore the rears because I was conscious I was wearing the right fronts. So trying to kind of take the same approach today. I've been pretty loose, but noticed that it does start to get a little bit tight in the middle of the corner and on entry. So we're trying to figure out our line as we're trying to maintain some track position. I'm scared to kind of gain on this 11 car as we experience the bump out of 2. He's sideways out of every exit, so I think in my head, it's only a matter of time before he spins it, and I want to be on the bottom if he does. So we're just kind of wrapping the bottom here, whether it's fast or not. That's what we're trying to do. As we start to catch up to the Colonel, but being on the bottom, we have to tank those bumps coming out of 2, which are proven to be my arch nemesis' track, as the 11 then starts to finally spin it on lap 26. Moving us up to P9, heading into an important strategy call. As you can see, we see the leaders head down pit road. I still don't think I put a lot into my tires, so I go ahead and take the track position, moving from P9 all the way up to P3 on the restart here on lap 31. Pace car dipping down. I know I don't have the pace to begin with up here, and then I'm also on older tires as a 14. It helps me with my bad restart. Seems to be a running theme on this series, as I'm already getting attacked by the 8 car on the outside. We're just going to hold the inside, try to hold some track position. I know on the long run I'm not going to do great if this does go long green, but my thinking was, after seeing some of the spins so far, myself included, and lack of checking up, I do think there's going to be another caution, so I felt like it was worth it to take my 2 tire, or to stay out. Try to get a good 25 lap run in and then dip down for some tires. Then maybe be on alternate cycles, maybe give me a chance to fight up in that top 5 kind of speed category, because I think on speed I'm about P7, P8. So I figured take a little bit of a risk, as we can always fall back to where we'd usually run in this car in combo. But yeah, we're just kind of bleeding spots here after this restart. We got some fresher, newer tires. 30 laps is a lot, so I did expect them to gain on me eventually. We're on lap 37, falling to P6, P7, as Liam makes a beautiful pass on the inside. Tripp is going to do the same here in a few laps. They're running really good races, and Nico, for the damage that he has, is powering through pretty nicely. Would like to see what he can do if he didn't get caught up in that wreck, and of course, Sean would love to still see his beautiful blank navy blue car out on the track. But it is what it is. We're counting our blessings. We've avoided death, I think, twice this race. So, again, we're happy to still be running. We keep bleeding spots. Tripp is long gone past me. And we get to lap 60. The 8 car got some damage, so that is a spot that we can gain back to get to P7. This 9 car is a lap car on the outside. I think he got damage early on. As you can see, I'm still not sure where I really want to run here. I don't know what each line does to each tire. Where it's right front, right rear, or it just makes you slower. A lot of unknowns. Probably should have done a little bit more testing or some research on what works here, what I should be doing. But diving low on the 8 car, he is off pace. I've been checking up for him a couple times, and now I decided it's a good time to let her rip. As we move into P7, fast forward to lap 93, we come up here on the 11 car, still having a tough time around this track. That was me all through practice, so kind of heart goes out to him. 18 car is the next car for position, about 3 seconds back. We swapped a couple times in that cut, or that cutaway, but on the last time we swapped back, I got ahead and started pulling away. I think the tires finally started to even out at this point. I got to make a little bit of ground on those around me, even though, again, I'm on 30 lap older tires than everybody else in the field. This car this kind of brown-looking car, the number 13 up ahead, he is not for position. He is a lap down, but he pits somewhere in the middle of all of this. And so it's at the awkward point where I'm a little bit faster, but not enough to get a good pass off. But also, you could argue that he shouldn't be racing me like this, as you'll see. She's just parking it down low. I almost send him into the trees there on the backstretch. But yeah, I wasn't thrilled with having to try and pass him on the outside, but he wouldn't. I got side by side with him a couple times during the cutaway, but it's at the point now where I feel like he should let me by. Obviously, if I'm faster, I should get around him. But with not being able to use that cut down on 1 and 2 and being on 30 lap older tires than everybody else at this point, these tires are 93 laps old, so I don't exactly have the pull in the middle of the corner, that corner speed. So I need him to help me out a little bit, but he has every right not to help me out, and he chooses not to. So that brings that 2 car. I'm about to go lap down, so I'm really, the urgency is up there. The 18's starting to close on me, and I need to start getting around this guy. Luckily, his tires start to wear, but timing-wise, it couldn't come at a worse time because now I'm under pressure, and so at the point where I finally have enough speed to pass him, I have to go side by side with the leader, trying to stay on the lead lap, and in case caution does come out. And then we got another lap car, the 7 car, on the top line, doing what lap cars should do, and give the inside to those that are on the lead lap or not on the same lap as them. And then it also kind of made me upset to see the 13 car just let the 2 car by. Didn't cut down at all, just gave him that bottom lane. I didn't get the same respect, unfortunately. For the past 20 laps, we've been right behind each other. And so now I'm a lap down, first car lap down, 18 cars starting to close, and I still cannot get around this 13 car, who I think is 2 laps down, or 1 lap down. Well, not 2 laps down, because I'm a lap down. But again, we're not on the same lap. I, again, get a run to the outside, but he pushes up, blocks it, so I'm beyond myself right now. And just kind of punching air as I just continue to ride behind this lap car. As you can see, don't quite get the runs off the corner, but I do have the entry and corner speed compared to him. At this point in the race, looking at on the outside, trying to build up another run because this 18 car is right next to me. I start to go low, and he gives me the lane, but of course he gives me the lane because that bump there is out of turn 2 where I cannot get the throttle down, and the 18 car and 12 car make contact behind. So that brings me, I am in the lucky dog spot, so I decide it's time to get my lap back. But now I'm in a dilemma because I do need tires. I have not pit yet, and my tires are well over 100 laps old. But I also need my lap back. So I don't know mathematically how it's going to work out if I were to go around again, catch the pace car. Don't know where I'd be. So I decided to dip down and try and take 2 tires. And then cycle out back and at least be on 2 tires because I am the last. There's only 7 cars on the lead lap, so at least guarantees me a top 7. So I'm coming down, I'm getting 2 tires, but that pace car is already turning, exiting out of 4, and I'm already stuck in the animation of getting 2 tires. So I have to just panic and tell my pit crew, hey, drop the jack, let me go. And they do, but unfortunately the pace car beats me out. And I also speed on pit road. So at this point, I have an end of line, but also another end of line because I'm the lucky dog. But now I'm in a situation where there's a wave around. So my racing knowledge has worn out. I don't know what to do at this point. Do I take the wave? Am I end of the longest line on the wave round? Am I end of longest line right now? And have I neutralized my lucky dog and now I'm a lap down with just 2 tires? It's just a bad scene for the 3 car for the whole team right now. And so I just say, you know what? I should get a wave around. So I think the wave, in my mind, the wave around takes precedent. So once I see them going around the pace car, I'm like, you know what? Let's also go around the pace car. And that was apparently the wrong move, as I am trying to catch up to the field. But then I see a new black flag that's going to come around here in a bit. Hasn't shown up yet, but it will, because boy, are you not supposed to pass the pace car when you have an end of line. And learning that probably the hardest way possible. It is what it is. But right now I'm in P6, because the 12 car got some damage in that wreck, connecting with the 18 car, so I am in P6, last car on the lead lap. However, I just get a new black flag to add to the collection, and it says hold for 44 seconds on pit road. So we gotta abide by NASCAR's rules for once this race and bring it down to serve, I don't know which black flag at this point. We've had 2 end of lines and a hold for 44 seconds, so we're just serving all of them in one go and just taking the hit as we are about to go 4 laps down here with only a handful of laps to go. And we're the only ones on our lap, so we need a boatload of cautions here coming up. Anyway, we're jumping forward. And at this point, I'm racing for pride. We are on lap 126, and I am in 12th place. So I am just passing him for pride. We are not on the same lap. Again, he just keeps pinching me down. This is close as I've come to just intentionally wrecking somebody, but I know better. And just no respect whatsoever from this guy. I don't know if maybe I like murdered his cat or something like that. I have no idea what happened between me and him. But finally, after 120 laps, it feels like, he finally gives out of the way. But it doesn't matter at this point. As we go to lap 30, I'm in P12. Nobody's on the same lap as me. There's nothing to race for, but just bringing it home safely. But yeah, just comedy of errors this race, mostly by myself, but the 13 did not make it easier for me, as I just crossed the line in P12. 4 laps down. So yeah, another race that I've thrown away. Make that 2 in a row. But yeah, I guess now we know. Which takes precedent, lucky dog or end of line or black flag. We look at some wrecks. We see how Sean got taken out. 1 car, losing it out of 3 and 4, and takes out half the field. Gives Nico his damage. 15 car, 13 backs into Sean. Then Nico, trying to avoid everything, gets hit as well. So that's everybody got their damage. We got the 19 car, trying to keep it low. Probably experiencing a little bit of bumps. Don't really know why this is being shown. 23 car sliding it. This is what I saw on the wall. And I check up, and then behind I start spinning. And 19 car, late decision, and catches the pit road entry wall. 13 car, just taking out the 14 car. Didn't type below somebody. 14 car, I guess kept it going, but hits the wall. Almost takes out Nico. We got the 11 car. This is what we saw right in front of us. Luckily, he turns back to the top instead of sliding all the way down. 14 car just stopped it under caution. Someone probably broke. We got Tripp and Liam, who had a fantastic race, but 17 gives a little love tap to Tripp, who had to check up. Luckily, he doesn't get sent. And we're at the 22 car. Bouncing off the wall, keeping it low, 22 to 23. Looks like giving each other room, but that involves a shade reaction. 11 hitting the 23, which hits the 20, which hits the 11 back towards the wall. And I'll keep it going. Got the 8, and this is what gave him damage. 14 car, holding his ground up top. 8 comes up a little bit too high, sends himself into the inside wall. 17 catching little wall on exit. 20 not catching the wall on exit, instead turns down and gets another wall on exit. 22 getting loose out of 2, and then ends up blowing his motor as it starts smoking. We got the 8 and 18 racing each other, and the 8 car hits the wall, and I think that's where his engine starts to go. The 11 car, I think, just driving a little bit too hard. That's what I was doing. As we get some tire calls. And the 8 car, as Liam approaches, this probably had been scary to watch. This is where the engine lets go. Somehow made it all the way around, didn't stop on the track, didn't bring out a yellow. We have the 16 car getting a little bit too tight, a little bit too fast into turn 1 and 2. This is where the 12 car, trying to chase down the first place. 12 car is in second at this time, and takes out the 18 car. This 18 car got really slow on exit, 12 nowhere to go, plowing tight. And that's what brought out the caution. That started my comedy of errors, trying to figure out which black flag to serve. As this is the final restart, 16 car. Trying to dive low, 2 car, trying to pass the 5 car here at the end of the race. Hits the wall, and looks like it comes away P2. As we jump to the 11 car, just taking the safe way around the track at this point. I don't blame him. But yeah, so we end up a tragic P12. We should have had a P6. I think that's where I should have finished on speed. Actually, probably P5 because I was faster than Wesley Chipman, who had a really good run from 21st all the way to P5, but this was a race of attrition. Unfortunately, some survived, some didn't. We have Liam finishing 3rd, Tripp finishing 4th. They both were incredible this race. Nico hanging around, paid off. He finishes P11 with damage pretty much the whole race. And unfortunately, Sean got most of the damage and finished 126 laps down in P21. So that wraps up this nightmare experience, this comedy of errors at Nashville Fairgrounds. Fun track, still struggling to learn it, but also never really gave myself a fair shot by taking that risk. Staying out came back to bite me. But well, we'll see you in the next one. Welcome back to the penultimate step in the Dirt to DayDega. We are racing the 87s at Texas Motor Speedway for 90 laps. I would have liked to have gotten a Gen 4 Cup race at Sonoma. Would have been fun to see him on a road course, and also Sean is really good there. However, we were not able to get one to go official, but we still got a good one for you. Still fits the theme of Dirt to DayDega with the 87 cars. So it should be a lot of fun. I am the 4 car. Sean will be the 5 car today. We're also joined by Dan Wright. Dan goes racing. He'll be in the 8 car. Got a really fast split today, so it should be some good fun. Like I mentioned in the intro, even though it's not the Gen 4 Cup car, we still got a 1987 Cup car, so it still fits the theme of working towards the top series, and this will be our top series today as we pull off at Texas Motor Speedway. It is a track that I do very well at, along with Bristol, Darlington, and Old Atlanta. Those are the tracks that I, for some reason, have kind of the higher end pace, as opposed to usually being a standard deviation below. But at Texas, it's not quite there, as in I have really good pace in the short to medium run, but as soon as we hit that long run, I really struggle, as most of my speed comes from that right front tire, which, especially 87s, is a death wish. If you want to try and go out fast, you better be on that right rear. Unfortunately, that is not the case for me, but we still are going to try to put in a really good qualifying lap. The goal today is to build a pretty solid lead to where when I do eventually fall off, my goal is to even out with that mid-pack, because I have tried to go slow here in the past. Wasn't necessarily in this car, but in the Gen 4 car I tried kind of saving the tires a little bit, but it just led to me starting out slow and ending slow. I never felt the benefit of it, so today I'm going to try and go out a little bit harder than I normally would, while still trying to keep my tires underneath me. We'll find out. We'll check in later to see how that ends up for me, but we do end up with a really good qualifying lap. I was able to get as much speed as I could out of 1 and 2 and in 3 and 4, so that should be enough to put us at least in the top 5. As I cross the line here, I do end up qualifying P3 as the 4 car. About qualifying where I should, still off by a full 10th, but that is okay. I'm very happy with the short run speed that we're bringing to the racetrack today. Grillis Pickles is staying on board as they hope to see some success out of the Buick LeSabre. As the pace car is on pit road, we are kicking off 90 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway. You can see it shown in the Carolina carport, staying on board as the number 5 car as we head into turn 1. My game plan, again, this race is to go out a little bit hard, but not enough to where I drop like a rock after 15 laps. I do know how the 87s work, slow is fast, but I know myself at Texas that doesn't really work out for me. So I'm going with the aggressive strategy, banking on a little bit of caution luck to maybe help me out, as we already get one exiting turn 4 as we take the lead here. On to lap 4 is when we get our restart, still in P1. Getting Grillo's Pickles some good advertisement. I owe them a lot of exposure, with them sinking a lot of money in this trip from Dirt to DayDega. As we build a little bit of a gap on the 12 car. The 12 car qualified P1. He was the one that had a 10th over myself in the 1 car on the short run. So definitely one that's going to keep me honest here early as we start to break away from the main pack. My goal was to pace with the 1 car. He is very, very good at iRacing. He has a very high I rating, so he was going to be kind of my rabbit this race. And if I could keep up, I could keep up. If I can't, then so be it. At least I can say that I tried. Especially after these last 2 races, I definitely need a little bit of a risk to make up some of that lost I rating. So that was what was going through my head in these opening stages. So you can see we are cruising right now. But I know they're all going to catch me in about 70 laps here, so I'm going to try to make the most of my time at the front before the drop-off starts to happen. Still no real long-term plan beyond that. As we start to pull away from the 12 car, we do get another caution, so restarting in the cockpit view on lap 9. That caution happened towards the end of the pack. Actually, I think he was the last car in the lead lap. So as we kick it into gear, you can see it is a packed race for this Throwback Cup Series in 1987. My goal was to be patient on the throttle. That's what I'm used to doing in the Gen 4 car, to try to save a little bit of tire life for the long run while still making speed, but I had one crucial oversight. I was way too fast on entry. As you can see, I couldn't even get to that white line on entry in the middle of the corner, and doing that a couple laps isn't gonna really hurt your race, but I kind of forgot about it and did that every single lap. And that's what was the killer here. You can see that high exit or high entry that I take because I have a lot of entry speed was slowly wearing on the tires. I wasn't heating any of them up, but I was wearing them. And in this 87 tire model, as we jump to lap 19, as the 1 car finally gets around me, or I let him through, he was just on my bumper, rearing to go and being very patient. So I wanted to pull over to the side, let him go, let him run free, and see if I can keep up with him. We built a 2-second lead back to Sean there in P3. That 12 car decided, hey, these guys are going too fast, into the smart thing and back off. We're at lap 39. I am in P2. That 1 car is long gone. The 2 car started in P19, who, come to find out, was one of the faster cars in this race. Just chose not to qualify, give himself a little bit of a challenge. He is on my inside, that's why I'm leaving a lane open for him. And he decides to take it into 3 and 4 and try to learn something, because he's been going fast while maintaining his tires. Same for the 1 car. And the common theme that I missed for the first 30 or so laps here was, as I almost run over the 2, that is my clue, that I am way too fast on entry and center of the corner. And while I'm not really overheating my rear or front tire, it is just taking those tire percentages and putting them to the ground. And with this car, this tire model, it's not about tire heat. Well, it is tire heat to an extent, but your tire life means a lot more than it does in these other cars. And as we are in lap 51, I finally pay the price, as this pack was able to catch up to me. I was happy to last 50 laps up there in the front island, but sooner or later I do have a downside to my strategy, and it was I was going to fall off. So I'm consumed by the pack here as I drop down to P4. This pack was very good, very smart. You see Dan there in the 8 car being super patient as they are kicking into another gear that I no longer have. Or they're just doing the same thing and I'm just falling off, which I think it's, and in hindsight, I think it's that, as the 1 and the 2 car, I haven't dropped back to them at all. It is just me that is dropping back. So yeah, that tire percentages really do matter in this car, and slow definitely is fast, which I should know better. I do enjoy these cars quite a bit. This series, I do run it quite a bit. So, and I'm usually the one in this pack to start out with. Taking it easy. But I wanted to try and be aggressive. Why not? Got to lead some laps for the sponsors. We jumped to lap 57. I'm looking to pit. I know you're supposed to go long in these cars and take 2. And it's about lap 57. Lap 58 was we just crossed the line. So we're definitely well more than halfway to lap 90. So I am on the later side. But I can now, especially with these cars on the outside, feel my right front to get overheated. So I know I'm going to have to come into the pits here to stop the bleeding a little bit. My thinking was similar to how I ran the opening leg. If I do get a caution at some point in the middle, I get my track position back, and then that set me up for a short run towards the end. So I decided to try and undercut and get a little bit of time buffer. As we jump forward here to lap 71, I am able to come out a whole 5 seconds ahead of that pack, but that's going to be dwindling by the lap. I am in P2 right now, and P1 passes me back. I was trying to lead one more lap in this race, but I just had nothing for him. So we settle back into P2, then we are going to jump ahead here a handful more laps as we get past here and drop to P3 with P4, P5, and P6 right behind him. So my window of getting a caution to kind of bail me out is closed, as the pack I pit with is about to pass me with 10 laps to spare, or a little more than 10 laps to spare, and I got nothing for him. Dan's having an incredible run. So is Sean. You can see him back there. He pit a little bit later, so he's going to be catching up here soon too. And then the other Sean in the 2 car is going to be flying by all of us here, giving enough laps. But Dan, we give him the insides. Got to be a gentleman to your buddies. And then the 12 car is racing really respectfully as well when I was around him. So we're just going to let him by, not going to fight it, not going to be a 13 car from the last race. And just know our place, try to hang on, take care of what we can. And hopefully bottom out here at P6, which I will gladly take at this point. But we get a surprise on lap 83. I am in P6, and we see a track blocker up in front, and Dan, close to the car in front of him, does not see that there's a car right in the middle of the track, and they both go airborne. Hopefully both were wearing Hans devices, because that was an ugly crash. So that changes things up. We head on to pit road, where the shenanigans and the lucky breaks do not stop. See there's a car ahead, the 20 car. Very slow on pit road, but not quite ghost mode yet. Gotta have one wheel inside that white line and causes a pile up that I see gives a 12 damage and keeps that 10 car from taking 4 tires. So he has to take 2, and the 2 car takes 2 tires. 1 car stays out, and before you know it, I am the first car on 4 tires, and now I'm in business because I'm liking my short run chances. So buckle up. We're restarting on lap 87. I am the 6th car in line. It is single file, so I don't get as much of an advantage. Get a good start, but Sean gets an even better start in that Carolina Carports Pontiac. Looking on the outside, there's going to be a close race. I don't want to race Sean at this point because I know there's 3 cars ahead that I can easily get. But luckily Sean misses a shift or has trouble shifting, and his beautiful start turns into a bit of a nightmare as a 3 car we've not seen all day long takes a dive underneath Sean. They're too wide, so I know that's going to occupy them as I start to set my sights on the guys ahead of me. I'm on better tires. I have that short run speed. It's Texas. I know how to go fast at Texas, so we start putting that to the test as we can just see how much speed this car is able to carry on these tires as the 6 car who had stayed out dips back behind me, putting me up to P5 with a couple laps to go here. You see the 2 car using that top weight, he was crazy fast. 7 car on old tires as not the most ideal exit. We'd like to better exit because we're taking the white flag here. I know I'm going to have a shot at the 10 car in front of me. I know he took 2 tires, and I know I'm faster than him when it comes to a hot lap or short run. So we try to build up as much speed as we can on the exit using every % of that right front tire. And we are now within striking distance as long as we can set up a good 3 and 4, steal a podium spot, an undeserved one, as we get a really good run here into 3 and 4. And we get a really good exit. We know we're going to have to dip below him. He's the type to block, but lets me have it. And I lose out by 1/10 as we conclude lap 90 here at Texas Motor Speedway. I come in P4, same as the car number, so I'll take it. And definitely 2 more spots than I should have gotten. With the pit road mishap from the 12 car, and then Dan unfortunately striking the back of that spinner. As we jump in to see what happened with the wrecks that happened behind us, see the 21 car into the wall, 9 car has to dip low to avoid them, 20 car doesn't see that one coming and sends the 9 car backwards up the track, hits the 19 nowhere to go. Jumping ahead, we got a little wall tap from the 14 car. The 9 car really struggled. He was the source of most of our cautions in that early stint because when you have that back end damage, it's really tough not to spin out in these cars. We get a check up on one of the pace laps, but yeah, we can see here the 9 car, just no rear downforce at all, and just spins it into the wall. And we'll see again here as he exits the corner, gets that same looseness, caused another caution. This was the caution that was our early Christmas present. 23 car trying everything in his power to save it and cannot. 1 car gets by, but not everybody does. So we got a car in each lane, and as we see 21 car pass, we see a couple more, and we see the 10 car wall up, and the 8 car does not see the 23 car as Dan just sends him into the stratosphere, taking him out of the race. And he had a really good run going. He was definitely looking at a top 4, top 3 there. 15 car, first pit road mishap, missing pit road entirely. Then we see the shenanigans that allow me to jump like 4 cars on pit road while taking 4 tires. And the 12 car having to catch up to everybody. And yeah, so we get a little bit of a redemption run here. We finish in 4th after qualifying 3rd in the 4 cars, so about where we should have been. Had I take care of my tires on the first run, that's where I think I would have finished, but I wanted to try it. Why not? Why not have a little bit of fun? Sean, I don't know what happened on that last restart. He said that he got side-by-side and just got trained on the top side. Not a lot of grip and speed there for him. He finished his P7. Had a really good run going as well. Should have definitely finished top 5. Giving me another sponsor heading into our final race. And then Dan, such a good run, but ends up wrecking out and finishing in the 20s. So yeah, see you in the final part. Welcome for the final time to the last stage in the Dirt to DayDega. Sean and I have been through a lot, and our journey has led to this moment. Dancing in the depths of Draft Masters. I will be piloting the number 3 Buick LeSabre, and Sean will be piloting the number 4 Pontiac Grand Prix here for 18 laps around Daytona International Speedway. Will we survive? Who knows? Will we have fun? Probably. And will we keep our sanity, iRating, or safety rating? There's a very low chance. Stay tuned to find out. Emerging from behind the Sunoco sign, we got a new and improved Buick heading out, trying to build up some speed. Joining the Grillo's Pickles sponsorship, we got Rita and her Italian ice stand. Dropping on board for the ultimate race at Daytona. So I got 2 sponsors. As we're going to see, Sean also has 2 sponsors. He forgot that he also won the ASCAP modified race, even though none of us felt like winners in that one. So he brought on Hans Device to sponsor his car. I think that's a fitting sponsor for Daytona, and much less Draft Masters in general. So he's got 2 sponsors. I got 2 sponsors, hoping to make all of them proud, hoping to end on a good note. We had a very rough stretch after the Dirt Mini Stocks. Well, Sean's been through it. It's a little recap as we hop on board for qualifying. I mean, there's Super Speedway qualifying. It's just terrible and pointless and very boring, especially when I don't know the choose. So you're just going to see me just floor it for 2 straight laps. So I'm going to go over a quick recap in case you skipped over any of the races. We started at Dirt Mini Stocks, where Sean unfortunately got taken out by a car looking for somebody else. Unfortunately, all were running blank white cars, so Sean got taken out of that one. That was probably one of my best races of this entire ladder, was that dirt mini stock race. As we head now to turn 4 here for a blazing qualifying lap. To probably put us in the middle of the pack, middle of all the nonsense. So, fast forward to the SK Modifieds. None of us felt like winners on that one. That's why Sean forgot about his sponsorship obligation after that race. None of us finished very well. I finished pretty much dead last on speed. Sean did 2 cars better, but he was also fighting for his life just to hold on to P11. And then on trucks, both of us struggled in that draft-centric kind of track in combo. But Sean did come out on top on that one, earning his 2nd sponsor. That's where Grillis Pickles decided to lead me after 2 straight duds. As we cross the line here, we're going to be qualifying in P5 as the 3 car. But yeah, then we both had an atrocious B open. Mine was self-inflicted. Sean just couldn't avoid a spinning car in front of him, no fault of his own, and got junked. And both of us did pretty solid at the cup level. So now we're ending off on Draft Masters here, and we'll see what happens in the race. Speaking of which, pace car is pulled off, and we are on our way to another Draft Masters race. The 1 car got a really good jump. He's all the way out there, as I'm starting in P5 with the 18 car just above me. 1 row back, behind the guys right behind us, so I guess 2 rows back, is going to be Sean. Sean's going to be in that number 4 red and black Carolina Carport / Hans device Pontiac Grand Prix. So far, trying to follow my own goals and advice. I see there are more cars on the bottom lined up, so I choose to stay on the bottom. Could have went with the 18. As you can see, he's going to try and jostle his way in there. He knows he's kind of stuck on the top. 1 car chooses the bottom. But 5 car let him know that he's there. So a little bit squirrely, but a little bit organized. Sean is trying to make that top line work. I jump up because they got a big checkup in front of me and saw Sean up there. And just as when I choose the top, the 18 car chooses the bottom. So now I am stuck on the outside, unfortunately. So I know what I need to do. I need to find a way to get down, but so far it does not look like there's an easy gap for me to fit into, other than, I guess, letting off and sacrificing a few spots. But I know as soon as a wreck happens, you want to be with that front pack to have a chance, so I stick it out on the top side. We're just not getting really any runs because on the straightaways they dip down, as you can see right here as we jump to lap 4. Just jumped ahead a lap because nothing changed, but you can see we'll get the run on the straightaway, but then they all jump down to the bottom, and then they start to get a wonderful exit, and I start to slide back, start to fall back, but then they give me some draft on the straightaway as we swim back up the chain. And then they jump down to block, slow themselves up, so I get a run. And so does the 6 car, saying hello, going 3 wide. I expect nothing less than Draft Masters. So I dip down behind him, and then I am still searching for a way to get down to the bottom line. So my tires are not like being up here. Moving over to lap 10, P8. So you can see Sean's having a tough time up top. We both were struggling to try to keep our tires not from getting overheated, so we don't plow into the exit like Sean did there. But this is where I get to show that I did learn my lessons, and that there is some good strategies to have during these super speedway kind of events, especially with the 87 cars. I duck down in line. I see we have more cars on the bottom, and then this is where I get a chance to show that I actually can learn something. The 6 car was slower. 10 car got a run. 10 car jumped up high, but I saw more cars go to the bottom, so I decided to stick there, hoping that my hypothesis was correct, and it is. You can see just that run that we get, having more cars in our line, and I'm able to secure a spot, while demonstrating that I can learn a few new tricks. We're in Daytona International Speedway. Still a lot of confusion going on, a lot of battle, and a lot of back and forth, but respectfully. I think the 6 car has been the only one to kind of force his way through so far. The 1 car has dropped back, getting passed by the 5 car. We'll see how that happened here later on. As you can see just from this angle in the straightaway, people making some split decisions, choosing which line to go with, which run they should take, which run they shouldn't take. as I am impressed by the 1 and the 5 able to stay up there, just in a 2-car tandem. Moving on to lap 14, we got to do some wreck avoidance. As always in Draft Masters, this one a little bit easy. We saw both cars go up towards the wall, so we go the opposite way. And good news is we're able to stay low as we see the 14 car get into the wall. Again, following the cars or the lines with the most cars in them has paid off. Jumping ahead here to lap 18, we're on the final lap. We just kind of conga line for a handful of laps there. I'm not in the best position. But I do see that the 2-car goes wide, and I'm hoping the 3 of us can work together to get past him to put me in a better spot. But the 5-car decides he wants to go up and confirm himself the front of one of the 2 lines, which is the spot that I wanted to be in. So I'm stuck pushing, the 2's stuck pushing. And even if we get a run, there's really going to be nowhere to take it unless we want to risk going 3 wide and finding the grandstands or pit road. But we're able to get around the 2-car, but a little bit too late as we get a run, but not soon enough, as the best we can do is muster a 3rd place finish. Again, losing a spot by a 10th at the line, but still pretty proud of our run. I'm pretty proud of Sean too. Sean learned the lessons I did, but a little bit quicker this time, or a little bit quicker than I did, as he's able to finish with a P6, I think. We'll have to check a little bit later. But yeah, you can see the 6-car was the one who's being really aggressive. It got him to the front, got him with a chance to win, but this is the cost. 7 goes airborne, and not sure he's surviving that one with these cars. He's blinking out and then just gets hit again while he's spinning like a top. So at the very least, visit to the gear center and a bark bag for the number 7. But he's able to get back on track. He's a lap down, just letting everybody go by. And this is what happened to the 1-car. 1-car was leading, but getting a little bit too tight, getting into the fence, and that opens the door for everybody to get around him, take the run. Got the 16-car off base, and I guess off his line too, as he heads up into the fence. This is where the first quote-unquote big one happens. 18 swerves and loses it, takes out the 1. Nothing you can really do there, and that's what first separates the pack. As we jump ahead, this is where we saw the 14 car get a little bit tight, but I already picked the right lane to begin with because I only saw 1 car up there, and the team decided to throw in the towel. We kept having to check up, and eventually someone was not going to see us checking up, and that's what happened as the back. This is what separated Sean from the group. So you can see that Carolina carport's just making it through. Great wreck avoidance by Sean. But yeah, that's what set his group back about 4 seconds, but he was able to make the most of it, finishing P5. You see the 10 car trying to pass the 13, but the trial is not the best place to do it, especially on the outside. And we see all of our friends cross the finish line. 1 car almost taking out the 2. Had a tough race. And just taking a couple wild rides. As we get to finally look at the results, yep, Sean did finish in 5th. So honestly, with all things considered, we both had a pretty good ending to this Dirt to DayDega run that started to look like a bit of a nightmare. But found a little bit of luck here at Draft Masters. All right, that wraps up season 2 of Dirt to DayDega. Special thank you for Sean for going through the suffering with me through all these different combinations that none of us really have too much experience with outside of 87s at Texas Motor Speedway. But even then, we still had a lot to learn, especially by some of the fast guys showing us how it's done. But yeah, had a lot of fun, and thank you to those that joined, especially that Dirt Mini Stock race was a lot of fun. Appreciate Jeff's attempt at trying to join the ASCAP Modifieds, and then had a blast running B Open with Liam, Tripp, Nico, and then blast running with Dan until he got sent to the stratosphere once again in the 87s at Texas. But yeah, like last time, I had a blast making it, despite it being a lot more challenging. Definitely still fun to learn stuff and experience some combinations I typically don't run because I'm not that good at. So yeah, I encourage you to, again, if you want to try this yourself, please go for it. And I will see you probably after week 13. Gonna take a break with all the silliness and the officials for that week, and we'll hopefully pick it back up once week 13 ends. Yeah. If you have any comments, feedbacks, I appreciate all of them. Still trying to get better at editing, trying to get better at recording, and better at racing. So yeah, appreciate you watching, sticking through if you made it to this point, and until next time, have a good one.